Brothers and sisters, it's Lisa. Um, I shared two dreams the other day with you. One about the political leader and the false prophet, and the other, the dream with the cup of iron and the cup of clay that I had. So if you haven't seen that video, it's just the one just before this. So the reason I say that is because the dream that I had um, that I woke up with on December 30th, which was yesterday morning. I know that this is December 30th, 2018. This dream was within a week of the other one, the other two dreams. And I really felt like when I woke up that they had, that this dream was related to receiving further discernment and further that it related to the two dreams that I just previously did a video on. So on December 30th in the morning, I woke up with, I was writing down and kind of drawing what I saw in my dreams. And the first thing I saw was two coins. And on the front of the coins, the two coins were side by side. And on the front of the coins, both of them had females on them. Like if you look at, there's the Susan B. Anthony, coin, the Lady Liberty coin. I looked at several coins. I looked them up, to see. The only two that I kept going back to were um, the Queen Elizabeth was on a coin, and of course, the U.S. Her Liberty, Lady Liberty. So there's two coins. Both of them have females on them, and I heard these would not change. These aren't changing. Like what I gathered when I heard that these are not changing, or we're in the time where they are who they are representing right now. Like the leaders, the nations that we're looking at that are leading now. I didn't see I wasn't given who these two coins were. I just saw the two coins with the two females on them. I knew they were both female. I thought maybe one of them was the U.S. and the other was Great Britain. But again, I wasn't sure. The reason I thought I knew the U.S., but then the reason I thought it was Great Britain was because as I was waking up, I was remembering, I was just thinking that something was, as I was waking up, I was wondering if something was about to happen of great significance with the royal family. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I woke up with that thought. So that's what led me to believe maybe, so I'm not saying for certain. Okay. Above the two coins, after I saw the two coins and I saw they were both female, and I was told that where they are, they wouldn't change. That's who they are. I then appeared over them the 12 horns, and they were just pointed upward, side by side, 10 of them, on top of appeared over the two coins. And I remember in the dream going, oh, those are the 10 horns I've had dreams about lately. If y'all remember a while back, I was told probably about 2 months ago, I saw a podium and a big crown above these people at podium. Looked like kind of like how it does at the UN when they have UN meetings, and there was people walking around, and that was a couple of months ago, and I was told the crown above them meant watch because these 10 nations are introducing themselves. And then I heard 10 horns, so I knew it was referring to the 10 horns. So, anyway, so in this dream, I'm looking at these two coins with both of them female, and I saw the 12 horns appear over. And then I heard, what I think I heard was Lucius Lucia or Lucius. So I wrote that down. And when I woke up, I started praying about what does this mean? Um, and Father put it on my heart to discuss it with another sister of mine. And we discussed it together. And coins represent money, monetary system. My friend Deborah said that she can see this as the changing of the monetary system to a one world monetary system. Like maybe that's in the midst of happening now. The 10 horns that appeared above is right after, and this is just what we're gathering on discernment. The 2 coins represent that happening first, like maybe the monetary system coming into effect that's leading us. These 2 nations are going to be the leaders of that monetary system, whoever they are. And then the 10 horns rise in power. We'll know who those 10 horns are. Now, I'm just speculating. If you have some feedback, this is something I'm still given to prayer, but one of the things that came up while I was praying about this was, and you may agree and you may disagree, and that's fine. Just let's agree and disagree in a loving way and discuss it with each other. That I'm going to leave it at that. So just, if you want to comment, I appreciate your comments. But, I'm no teacher. I'm no prophet. I'm just like you are, a child of God who happens to be given dreams and visions. And I don't share them all, but when the Lord calls me to share them, I share them. It is the responsibility of the body to come together and love one another and discuss and discern things together. So, I'm just sharing with you. When He calls me to share something, it's to warn you, if you are not saved or with the Lord, that we are in the end days, and you need to return to the Lord. You need to call upon His name and receive Him in your heart, and let Him guide you in all things. But my objective when I first started doing videos was I didn't want to do them, but I did. And I put the fear and everything aside that it took to bring forth messages where it doesn't matter, who attacks you or anything else, but I'm being obedient to what the Lord has asked me to do. And I don't know everything. Of course I don't. I'm a brother and sister. I'm part of the brethren, just like you are. We're all learning. We're all growing. He's revealing all of these things to His body. And I in no way say that I am somebody. I'm just delivering the messages that I'm given. And if you want to receive them, you can receive them. If you don't, then it's not for you. So I'm saying these things because it's hard enough to be obedient and put forth these messages and receive comments from people that say that you're crazy or are threatening messages. It's another to receive one from a brother or sister that doesn't come to you in a loving way and just thinks that you're misleading the sheep. I'm not here to lead or mislead or anything. I'm here to share what the Lord has shown me, and you use your own discernment and take these things to prayer. So, I'll continue. So as I was praying and contemplating about this dream, I asked Father, what does this dream mean? And he put it on my heart to go and talk it over with Deborah, and we came to the understanding that the coins represent the monetary system that is about to change, and the 10 horns represent the 10 nations, of course, that in Revelation 13 come up out of the sea. Those are, the sea is nations, peoples, and tongues. But the 2 coins, there's Revelation 13, and then there's that explains, this beast that rises up out of the sea and has 10 horns. But there's another beast that rises up out of the earth in Revelation 13:11. And the 10 horns are above the 2 coins in the dream. The 10 nations are above the verses about the beast that comes out of the earth. So I'm wondering, I'm praying, if the 2 coins represent the beast that comes out of the earth. So I will read these verses, and you can go to the Father in prayer and discern these things, and we can discuss them together as a body. So, Revelation 13:1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. The dragon is mentioned in Revelation 12. The great red dragon in Revelation 12:3. There appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. Now in Revelation 13:2, it says, the beast that came out of the sea is the one that has the mouth like the lion, and it states that the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and the tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword, or must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. Now, verse 11. This is where I think is relating to the 2 coins underneath the 10 horns I saw in my dream. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake like a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly head wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound, by a sword and did live. And he had given power, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast would be killed. This is where the monetary system comes in, and where I will explain the iron and the clay relation. And he causeth all, this beast that came out of the earth, that speaks like a lamb, looks like a lamb, but speaks like a dragon, 2 horns, 2 nations. This is the one that comes out of the earth. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number 666. Now, why I am bringing this up is the coins were 2 nations shown there underneath the 10-horn beast. So I think the Lord was showing me the 2-horn beast is in control of the monetary. These are the nations that are going to make an image of the beast and cause many to worship the beast. So let me know what you think. I mean, this is just what I'm gathering from this. But the 2 coins, maybe it's America and another, America's known as she. There's another she nation that are females. Europe, Great Britain, UK, who is it? But these are 2 nations that are going to make an image to the beast, the first beast that rose up out of the sea, and causes many to accept this mark. So we have the monetary system coming. That's going to be the one world monetary system. And if you do not accept this mark in your right hand or your forehead, you will not be able to buy and sell. The Lord warns us not to accept this mark. You do not want to get this in your hand. We got people lining up in Sweden, in the UK. Employers are requiring it. People are lining up in Sweden just because it's some new thing and popular, and they want to have the convenience of it. I asked Father in prayer, why are they doing this? Don't they know? And the answer that I got in prayer was, they refuse to believe. So I guess they've had opportunity to believe and they don't. Our hearts should be praying for the lost, and you don't want to receive that in your hand. Now, how I wanted to explain where my thoughts led about the iron and clay and the false prophet and the political leader, how it ties into these 2 dreams. This is what I'm speculating, or what I'm having a discernment in my heart, is in relation to a political leader standing up first. Then the false prophet I saw speaking second. And like I said, I couldn't see their faces. I don't know who they were. But people were buying into everything that was being said. And Daniel, and then of course the other dream where I saw the iron and the clay, Daniel explains to Nebuchadnezzar, and let's make one other thing clear for someone who made a comment. Questioning my knowledge, or lack thereof, of the Bible. First of all, I know that when Nebuchadnezzar had his dreams, that none of the magicians or sorcerers could interpret the dreams because they could not see the vision that Nebuchadnezzar had. Nebuchadnezzar was not telling them, hey, I had a dream, this is it, tell me what it means. He wanted them to tell him the vision that he saw and the interpretation. Daniel went before the Lord and not only received the interpretation, but received the vision that Nebuchadnezzar saw. So he goes back and tells Nebuchadnezzar after prayer, this is what you saw, this is what it means. So he tells King Nebuchadnezzar what the dream means. And when he gets to where's there saw the feet and the toes, part of the potter's clay, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of the clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron, this is Daniel 2, verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, shall they mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So, could we talk about, as a body, the discernment of that scripture? One of the things that I was thinking about when I was shown the bowl of the iron spilling over, the clay didn't spill over, the iron spilled over and mixed with some of the clay pebbles, jostled them, and they were on the table together. So, there's an attempt. They are mingling themselves with the seed of men. So not only does this, to me, my understanding right now, represent 10 toes, 10 nations, divided, kingdom partly strong, partly broken. Not only that does it represent the nations, but it represents they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. We see a lot of times, a lot of places where they have mingled themselves with the seed of men. These are hybrid, where I'm trying to explain this best I can. There's a gentleman in China, scientist, who just took a section of DNA out of human DNA and created 2 twin girls and corrupted the DNA. Now, the scientists all over the world are against it because they feel like that morally he shouldn't have done that. And he said he's willing to take the criticism to do it. But the comments that have come forth is that this would change the DNA. It would change our DNA forever. That is exactly, one of the ways. Another way, and this is just my opinion, we can talk about it. Again, I want to say we can talk about it, and I don't need to say that you all know that you all are very well aware that I'm a brother and sister, brethren, just like you are. So we're talking about these things as a body. Just want to make sure that you know that I'm not trying to tell you something that I think I know, or I'm sharing with you what the Lord has shown me. And we can discern it together through prayer and through fellowship, loving fellowship with one another. But they have AI now. They have the chip. And the chip, they have actually been putting chips or computer chips in brains of disabled people and causing their brains to be able to do things that they weren't able to do before. So you cannot tell me that this chip cannot change the way a person thinks or change brain activity. It's not just something that's being put in your hand so that you can buy and sell, so that you can, it is going to affect you. That if a computer program can run another computer program and control the activity in that computer, if you're going to put a chip in your hand, then there's something that we're not being told about these computer chips. Technology has gone way further than what we could have ever imagined. They even have military craft that no one's ever seen. That, of course, when it's in the sky now, people think it's a UFO. There is much more technological advancement that we've been let know about. We're pretty much still in the dark on many, many things. But that's the deception of it all. You have to keep your eyes open and you have to keep your ears open. But don't think and listen to these churches who are telling you, well, the Lord's going to provide for us and it's okay for us to take that chip because, He wants us to provide for us and that's the way it goes. That is not what the Word said. I hear churches telling people that it's okay to do this, that it's just a way to deal in money. Everyone's making excuses. The enemy has infiltrated our churches. I personally will, if I can't have food or water or a home or anything else because I'm not willing to put one of their computers in my hand, then I'll die not getting one of those. But at first, I believe they're going to make it sound like, oh, no one's attacking anyone if they don't get it. You can not get it. It's a choice. It's a choice. Yeah, that's the way it's going to look at first. Voluntary. Now employers in the UK are requiring it. Oh, it's not so voluntary anymore because now you can't get a job without it. Then, when they've, gotten most people to buy into it and accept it, there's going to be a remnant that refuse to take it. And what do you think they're going to do at that point? So it's going to be all voluntary and cozy until that time. Then they're probably going to seek those people out who refuse to take it in order that they be killed. And all this is not going to take very long. 4 months ago was when we first heard, I believe it was 4 months ago, that the UK started requiring some employers in the UK. Now it's spreading like wildfire. And people think, oh, well, that's a long way off before that's required here. No. I'm having these dreams for a reason. And I will admit to you that I am nobody special. I'm a child of God just like anyone else. And I only received His Spirit, really came to the love of the truth in February of 2015. So I'm young in the Lord, and He's teaching me and guiding me. But He has asked me to share these things with you, and I'm obedient in doing so. Because if I don't, in Ezekiel 33, it says, if I have called you to speak out the warnings, and you don't, then the blood is going to be on your hands. When the Lord has asked me to do something, I do it. And a lot of people say, oh, well, they're crazy, whatever, and you think the Lord's causing all this. Let me tell you something. We can look in the Bible history and see where, people like Jeremiah, Jonah, they didn't want to come forth with these warnings, but the Lord told them to, and they knew they needed to. It was a scary thing. Their lives were threatened. Many lives were threatened. Because what did people say? Oh, they're crazy, they've lost their mind, they probably need to be in a psycho ward, they're probably on drugs, whatever. The Lord said that there would be mockers and scoffers. And I am praying for them because I know what comes of them. So we need to pray very hard for them. And the Lord is not the one. If you've read the book of Job, you understand. Why did the Lord do this? Why is the Lord, people are talking about the judgment. He is allowing these things to happen because we excluded him. We have a president of the United States right now that burned incense last month unto another god in the White House. I think it was Hindu. Right there. Right there in our White House. 100 years ago, we would have thought, even 50 years ago, 20 years ago, what in the world are you doing? We're a Christian nation. Well, if you remember correctly, Obama said before he left office that we were no longer a Christian nation. Why? Because we have cast the Lord God and our Savior, Jesus Christ, out of everything of this nation. Our marriage laws, our courthouses, our women's rights, women's health, all in the name of self. We have these rights, we have that right. And 15 years ago, we bought into a lie called climate change. Well, first it was called global warming. Then, of course, it was changed when they realized it wasn't covering everything that they needed to cover. But no one wants to listen to the Bible prophecy of well over 2,500 years, 2,000 to 2,500 years of prophecy, saying that judgment and these things were going to be coming. Oh, it's just climate change. I'd rather believe a 15-year-old lie. They knew judgment was coming. The enemy knows the Bible very well. So if you're buying into all of this, wake up. And if you don't know what's going on around the world, open your eyes. Take a look at weather around the world. Take a look at diseases. Did y'all know that 80,000 people died last year in the U.S. from the flu? I wasn't aware of that. How many diseases? How many plagues? How many volcanoes are erupting right now? How many earthquakes? Avalanches? Cyclones? Typhoons? Tornadoes? In the U.S. they had, 23 in one area at the same time? Someone's filming it. But just because it's not in your main focus and it's not in your front yard, you think it can't be. There's people dying all over the world right now. Thousands and thousands of people dying every day from hunger, being displaced. We as a country are even separating parents from their children and justifying it. Burning incense unto other gods. Dedicating the Tower of Voices on 9/11 this past year. It's right in our faces. But we still have people going, oh, well, y'all are crazy and y'all are fearmongers. No, we've been called by the Lord to warn. Judgment is upon us. We see it. Repent, for the day of the Lord is at hand. I love you all, and I know it's getting to the point where there's not any time left, where we used to just be warning that it was coming. Now you need to be warned that it's here. This next year is not going to be easy. You're going to see a lot of things happen. Because last year was just the beginning of the sorrows. Remember the eclipse? August 21st, it was a warning to Nineveh. If they hadn't repented, they would have been destroyed. My love to you all. I thank you for the help that you have been to the ministry so this ministry can help others. We have a bread basket that is at a GoFund. That is not for me. That is for our brethren. that contact me at sabbathseekers@gmail.com and contact me that are in really difficult situations that this ministry helps. We're not very big, you know, but the Lord assured me that when someone came for help, that there would be bread in the basket, and every time I have gone to put forth money from that bread basket, it has been there for whoever needed it. Some of you send funds to me personally to help with my Lyme disease treatment. I thank you with all of my heart. If you've given to the ministry or given to me, the PayPal link is that money goes to me. The bread basket, the GoFund, that goes to another account, and those are that money is to help others that contact this ministry that have emergency needs. So I thank you for what you have been to this ministry. I thank you for your prayers for me and for all the others. I did receive all of your prayers. The last video, I have taken all of them to prayer. Every single one of you who requested prayer. And I love you all with all of my heart. And I hold no hard feelings toward anyone that I feel has been abrasive toward me in my discernment of my own dreams that the Lord's given me. I just want us to come together in a more loving way and realize that one is not above the other. What to love one another and understand. I get enough. I have to deal with enough not to have to deal with that too for my own brother and sisters. So I love you all, and I will talk to you very soon. Please write in and let me know what you think of the dreams and your discernment and any scriptures that come to mind. God bless you. Bye-bye.